So, just a little quick introduction note that I have a very good friend who has Tuesdays as an off day. So, when I am doing videos on Tuesdays, the time may vary somewhat if I'm going to visit her later in the day. But I feel like friendship is very important, and I feel like you can see me whenever you are ready, and I will be back tomorrow. So I am doing the video at an earlier time. My dad went to Estonia. He is in the naval, or he retired from the naval reserves, but this is a bone necklace that he brought back for me from Estonia. Estonia. He is an engineer, a civil engineer, and so was part of the Seabees, and MCB 24 to be exact, which I think was based out of, that was the one he was in when he got promoted to captain, I think, and I think that's the one in Huntsville. I could be wrong about that. Hi Alba, it's so good to see you. I think it's been a while since I've seen you in the chat. I think I used to do the live streams more like at this time. Hi Eve, oh my god, it's so good to see you also. Yes, I am feeling much better, thank you. Let me stay hydrated. So first we're going to do the sign of Aries. We're going to do Aries, and then Leo, and then Sagittarius. And again, I think I'm just going to keep using the Oliver Hebert deck. I really enjoy using this deck. I am keeping it in here with a mirror that I got from Killstar. I can show you guys this one because I didn't consecrate it to anything. It's just generally protective. You can use mirrors in this way for protection. Oh, that's so sparkly. Okay. So, oh, the Bible verse. Okay. I decided to pull from the book of Ezekiel to consecrate the readings this week instead of using song lyrics. So you will notice that I put from the Tanakh, if you prefer, to the King James or the NIV, which I do. I like a little bit of the original flavor, right? And I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud, and a fire enfolding itself, and a brightness was about it, and out of the midst thereof, as the color of amber, out of the midst of the fire. excitement that was too much, any of those things that you are ready to let go, please allow them to pass into the burning flame. And we will get started on this reading. So we will start with the sign of Aries. And Aries, if you would like, go ahead, set your intention, and any associated thoughts. Hi, Kayla. It's so good to see you. Welcome back. Thoughts, feelings, emotions, prayers. Allow those things to rise up to the forefront of your mind. Just wait there patiently while I shuffle and deal. Kayla, I am feeling so much better. Thank you. Aries, what a flop so far. And I mean flop in a good way. I don't mean flop like to be colloquial about it. I mean flop in the sense of running in the summertime and you feel your chest meats rise up and a cool breeze blows underneath. That kind of a flop. I hope that's not too much. As James Acaster would say, that's just to clear out the Christos and the Papos. They might be clicking on here because of the Bible verse, right? We all like to have a sense of humor from time to time. All right, Aries, your timestamp, 8:35. I'm glad you agree. I'm glad you can relate. So here in the past for you, Aries, we have the Venus card. And this card is from the Secret Arcana. So let me make sure I get the answer correct. Ascending, beauty, eyeful, growth, alluring femininity, proud, and pleasure. So it's kind of an allegory to the Empress card, but with some key differences. The Venus card being polemically opposed to the Mars card. Oh gosh, I'm getting a phone call. I don't know that number. I hope they leave me a message. All right, sorry. Okay, so Venus is a very, it's a feminine energy, but let's go beyond the gender of these things, right? Because it's much larger than that. Gender is but one aspect, and sometimes it doesn't really come into play. Venus is about beauty. It's about tenderness. It's about the softness of things. The passion that is connected to love. A passion that springs forth from, and I am going to get on my soapbox for just a little bit, but not too long. A passion that springs forth from the true and pure love that you can have for someone else. And that doesn't matter if they are a romantic interest, a child, a parent, another type of family member, a found family member. The Venus card in the upright here lets me know that there is a softness about you at this time, Aries. That began not too long ago and is carrying forward into the current situation. And here's the soapbox part, I didn't forget. I have been thinking a lot lately about the relationship between all of these baser emotions and how there are certain things that can kind of straddle that line. One of those things is, of course, intimate contact with other people, whether that is even anything like a handshake, a hug, a kiss. It is not wrong to have sex for pleasure, but like anything else, it can get tied into your baser emotions and can then end up controlling your life. So that's not just a message for Aries. That's just something I personally have been thinking about a lot at this time, and I wanted to put it out there as it relates to the Venus card, because that is the important distinction between the energy of the Venus card and the energy of the Mars card as relates to passion. So let's get into the place of the significator. You have an excellent card here in the place of the significator. It is the Chariot. And this is Cancer's card. It's about mobility, victory, success. And there is not a lot of hastiness about it. There's not a lot of immediate effort that we can discern. This guy's not even holding the reins of these two beasts. They're simply propelling it forward. We have here a representation. It can be a hammer, but it can also be looking at it in the way that you get your spaceship to spin really, really fast before it takes off. Excuse me. Good heavens. A lot of things just not sitting right with me, ladies. Crossing this, we have the shadow, lies being exposed. Let me make sure. I've read this card a few times now, but it's subtle. It's subtle. Revealed lies, yeah. So the shadow parts of the self as well, where you are having to deal with and confront, Aries, these things which you might even have been lying to yourself about. These can be lies from other people, they can be lies from the self. We have here in the Imam Silai, Aries, you are showing up loud and clear in this reading as the Queen of Wands. Speaking of chest meats flapping in the breeze. So the Queen of Wands is someone who's very charismatic, very beautiful by merit of personality, of passion. This is water of fire energy. So a very tempered energy. Strong as steel, but malleable as lead. This can be a card also associated with the other fire signs. So you may have a lot of fire sign energy in your chart. But Aries, at this time, you're showing up as a very charismatic and attractive person. From your perspective, I like chest meats because it's a good non-binary sort of a term and it doesn't make anyone feel excluded. You know, everybody's got something going on, even if it's just a pepperoni salad. Be proud of what you've got. From your perspective, Aries, you have achieved some level of success. And those around you, you might perceive that they seek to take things from you because of it. You might feel like you are made the target of certain things, or even just that people's perceptions are turned toward you exceptionally at this time. And as much as these eyes are all turned towards you, in return, you turn this eye back upon them. Who is watching the watchers? So, from an outside person's perspective, looking in upon your life, we have the Fool card. This card is in the reverse. People might see you as being overly naive or overly jaded, depending on the context for each individual, this being a general reading. For some of you, especially because we have this energy here with the Seven of Wands, people might perceive that you're a little jaded at this time, or that you're carrying around a lot of baggage if you feel like a lot of people have their eyes on you. Lanky Man Stan, how's it going? Thank you so much for your donation. I really appreciate it. I hope you're having a great Tuesday. Here in the future, lots of possibilities and options opening up for you, Aries, with the Seven of Cups. Dawn, I'm on the future part of the Aries reading, so we haven't been going for too long. All of these options opening up to you. Oh, anytime, Dawn. It's so good to see you. Some of them are going to be great. Some of them, just all right. Look at the other sevens that we have in the reading so far. First and foremost, oh, thank you, Lanky Man Stan. This Chariot card. This is our big seven. Lucky sevens. Zeta. The Seven of Cups in the future. This is a passive seven. To kind of balance out this active seven here, right? So where you might be perceiving that a lot of people have their eyes upon you, you are also high enough into the clouds that you're going to be able to perceive these options opening up to you in the future as you move forward. Here in the hopes and fears, we do have the Moon card showing up reversed. This card, you might be afraid that there's going to be a dark night of the soul ahead for you. This can have to do with, it looks like you're feeling very vulnerable emotionally at this time in your relations to other people. And they might be perceiving that in a different way. Just keep that in mind. They might be perceiving you as being overly jaded or having baggage, or possibly even as being kind of naive or too head in the clouds. But the Seven of Cups here is showing up upright. So you will be able to discern the best options. And things will be made clear, which I think that you might also be hoping for with this Moon card reversed. Here in the midheaven, so this has to do with your eventual outcome from this energy of the Queen of Wands. What being a social butterfly will earn for you, will get for you, not necessarily earn. Where is this going to take you? We have the hourglass in the reverse. This is another one of those secret arcana. So it does say you are running out of time. Let me read also for you the final outcome card, because I think that will help clarify this a little bit. So in the final outcome, this is kind of like the advice, tying up loose ends. We have the mirror, which is another 7. So an allegory for the Chariot card in the Secret Arcana. And the mirror in the reverse is false reflection. So all of these cards seem to kind of go together. It looks like there might be some illusions around you at this time, and that you are running out of time to discern what is correct and what is false, Aries. And that would make sense where we're seeing this Fool card in the reverse, where other people are concerned, that you might have your vision turned off towards certain things, that it will be important for you to see moving forward. So that is going to conclude the Aries reading for this week. I will be doing the crystal scrying video, but it will be much later in the evening. And I will post on the community page before I go live, so that you will be able to tune in if you are a channel member. Everyone is cordially invited, but your presence here on the channel is greatly appreciated in whatever form it takes. So let's move on to the sign of Leo. Hi Jason, it's so good to see you. Leo, if you would like, go ahead, set your intention for the reading. Take some deep cleansing breaths. Just relax. Allow yourself to get into the vibe. Any other thoughts and feelings you might be having surrounding everything that's going on here, just open it up. Let it come to the forefront of your mind. And let's see what's happening. If there are any things about the topic of today's reading for you that cause you any discomfort or stress, I invite you to draw in the divine source energy on every little oxygen molecule. Let it travel through your electron transport chain in each and every one of your mitochondria. And when it comes to the end of that, just wrap all of that negative energy onto that free radical and allow it to float right out of your body. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So, Leo, Aries got the Venus card in the past, in the upright. You have gotten the Mars card in the upright in the past. Now, Mars is the fifth card, but this is very aligned with that kind of structural patriarchal energy. Things like oppression, conflict, belligerence, the prevailing violence of power structures, and the equipment that keeps that in place can be tied into Mars energy as well. And so, here in the upright in the past, you might have been dealing with and continue to deal with into the current situation that energy. Here in the place of the significator, so what is currently going on for you personally, Leo? We have the Eight of Pentacles. This is a card about work. It is a card about long-term career prospects, how you are bringing in income as it builds and solidifies over a long period of time. And this is crossed by the Hierophant. So I think in the current situation, you have been trying very hard, perhaps, and we'll get to that. The MMCLI is right ahead of us. And I'll be talking about this a little bit more. That Hierophant is an allegory for the Mars card. One of them, because of course, Mars energy can have to do with the Hierophant. It can also have to do with the Emperor. So the Hierophant is all about these very established traditions. It has to do with things that are institutional, like marriage. It also has to do with acting as an intermediary between the higher power and the general public. So there could be instances where that is coming forward for you as well. This can be a marriage that is somehow tied up in one's long-term career prospects. But it can also be related to just in general trying to earn a living in a traditional way, having a 9-to-5 job, trying to hold down a 9-to-5 job. And in the MMCLI, we have what I like to refer to as the Quit Your Job card, which is the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. At this time, you are evaluating the amount of work that you're having to put in for the value that you're getting out, and you are dissatisfied. Now, because we have the Eight of Pentacles and the Seven of Pentacles here, this very much looks like a reading that has to do with your material resources. But there are other kinds of things that can be wrapped up in this as well. Like I mentioned, the Hierophant can have to do with marriage. So it could be a marriage especially if you are financially dependent on your spouse. Here, from your perspective, Leo, boy, don't I know it. We have the Devil card coming out in the upright. And this card has to do with our baser instincts and the things which we allow to control us. Much like I was talking about in the early part of the Aries reading, we were talking about the Venus card and the difference between intimate contact with somebody based around a purity of intention versus intimate contact based around these baser needs. If you are allowing physical contact with other people to manipulate your behavior, right? Because it doesn't have to just be sex for procreation, but You have to be able to control that urge. But I certainly don't judge. I mean, I'm a Leo and I'm getting the devil coming up in that position. And that is definitely the path that I'm on right now. That I am getting things like that under control. Here, from an outside person's perspective, we have the Nine of Swords and it's reversed. This card has to do with stress, anxiety, nightmares, sleeplessness, and it's showing up in the reverse. From an outside person's perspective, it does look at this time like you are releasing a lot of those stressors as far as people's outside perspectives go. So you may very well be quitting a job or a marriage or both, or just we don't have the 10 of Wands in the reverse here. But people might be perceiving about you at this time like you are letting go of things that are causing you stress and anxiety. Here in the future, Leo, we have the Four of Wands. It is reversed. And this is kind of like a happily ever after card. It's showing up in the reverse here in the future, shows that there's the potential for that. So if you are shedding a marriage at this time, the potential for a new marriage is out there somewhere on the horizon. You're going to want to know that for a few reasons. So even if you're not looking for that, I mean, I've burned through 2 marriages at this point. So now I'm getting really good at it, right? It's important to know that this is something that is still a potential. Not so you won't be closed off to it, but so you won't be taken by surprise. Now, the Four of Wands can also be things like home ownership. Maybe at this time, you would really love to own a home, but with how everything has been going, there are a lot of archon at work right now, more so than usual, and they have very vested interests in keeping people from owning property, right? Okay, so this represents the potentiality of wish fulfillment in the future like this. Here in your hopes and fears, this is the only place where I like this card to show up, unless maybe it's in the past and in the reverse. We do have the Five of Pentacles coming out here. That there's still somewhat a mentality of lack around you at this time. I don't see this as an actual need. I do see it as a perception that you do not have the resources that you will require to maintain. But you know, everyone else perceives you as having this very laissez-faire attitude about it. So maybe you can fool them. We also have that showing up in the hopes and fears in the opposition to the devil. And one thing that is especially prevalent at this particular time is that money originated as a tool to use. And just like any crutch, any tool can then take ownership of the system that it was designed to facilitate and not control. But it's one more of those ways that the Narchon can control people and keep them in chains. Those funky dollar bills, right? Up here in the midheaven. Well, Leo, we do have you showing up in your reading in this energy of the sun. And the sun here is in reverse. But look at these two cards together as future placements. We've got a lot of potential here. And the result of quitting your job, basically, whatever that job is going to be good, regardless of what path unfolds. However, some of the outcomes have the potential to be much, much better than others. So, with that sun card in the upright, it would be like, do anything you want and you'll succeed. Magic. But with the card in the reverse, and because we have that Four of Wands in the future position reversed, which some people read as like the 1111, another kind of wish fulfillment prophecy, there's a lot of potentials there for good outcomes. The final outcome card for you and the advice for the reading is the Five of Swords. And the Five of Swords in the reverse like this it can be kind of a mixed bag. Now, this is a very violent card, but it is also linking up with this five here, remember, from the past. Sometimes this can mean a loss, and there may be some loss associated with this, and that's why that sun card is showing up in the reverse. But also keep in mind that we started the reading with this very violent energy in the past. And so, where we have this in the final outcome position, we know that for sure this is coming to an end, finally. So, the entire cycle of this particular reading for you, Leo, may be taking place under kind of strenuous conditions, shall we say. I have total faith in your ability. But that's just how it goes sometimes, right? So that is going to conclude the Leo reading for this week. And I am going to move on now to the Sagittarius reading. Now, I will be doing the members' crystal scrying much later in the day today. I am going to visit a friend, and so that's why I'm splitting up the readings quite a bit time-wise like this. All right, Sagittarius. So here we go. I think that's it, actually. Yeah. So Sagittarius, set your intention for the reading. Again, if you have any aspects of this situation that are causing you stress or discomfort, I advise you to gently breathe through that energy and just release it out into the universe, and it will be transmuted. Sagittarius. I have to say, right off the bat, I'm seeing a lot better things here for you. Let's get into it. Here in the past, we have the Ace of Swords. Oh, thank you, Steve. It's so good to see you. And the Ace of Swords, Sagittarius, is a card of you seizing control of change within your own life. This card is in the upright, it is in the past, which lets me know that you have started to make these changes in your own life at some point in the past, and that positive trajectory is continuing into the current situation. Because of that, we have a transformation coming, completely unfolding, blooming like this rose. We have that transformation now completely coming out. And that is crossed by this Page of Pentacles energy. This is Earth of Earth energy. It is drawing material resources down and making them concrete at this time. So this can be a new job, but it can also be other forms of income or resources. Can even be something like an inheritance, especially because we see it crossing the Death card. Now, that's not hard and fast, but it could have also been money that you were not expecting. It's certainly not going to be happening because you stabbed somebody and you got an insurance payout on their demise. Just want to clarify that for my own indemnity. All right, so down here in the Imam Silai, Sagittarius, we have the King of Pentacles in the reverse. This is a very balanced energy, air of earth. So we have the ideation of that air energy, the swords energy. And then we have the making concrete of the pentacles energy. We have as above, so below. It's a very stable energy. Now for you, it's showing up in the reverse in the Imam Silai, which is not necessarily bad. It just means that at this time, you might be lacking stability, which we already know because we have the Ace of Swords in the past, and we have the Death card in the place of the significator. I got another ace for you here, up my sleeve. Up my sleeves, 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 up my sleeves. And that is the Ace of Wands showing up in the upright. So you feel very powerful at this time. You are wielding your power in a genuine way. You are able to use it to fertilize. Potency. There's a potency to the Ace of Wands too. And this is a very good card for your sign, Sagittarius in particular, because as an archer, it provides you with that projectile to launch from your bow. Here, from an outside person's perspective looking in, we have the Three of Pentacles and it's reversed. So this is about professional reputation somewhat. It can also be about teamwork. So people around you might perceive that you do not wish to work with groups or that you do not work well with groups. I don't think that's a fair appraisal. It could be that there's like holes and gaps in your employment history. We've all been there. I think we're all there right now, pretty much, right? And we'll look at what is in opposition to that shortly. But we kind of know that you're in a bit of a solitary place right now because we've got these two aces. We've got this Page of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles in the reverse. The King of Pentacles is, of course, partnered. They don't show up on the card together. And the Page of Pentacles is kind of solitary, kind of a young figure, learning how to strike their way out in the world. Additionally, the Death card does create changes that separate us from others. So to me, this Three of Pentacles can be things like issues with your professional reputation, but it can also have to do with not really working with other people at this time. And we see that for a number of reasons here. Here in the future, we have the mushroom. It is reversed. And the mushroom is actually an allegory for the Death card. So is the change coming full circle? And you can look forward to that ending soon, or are you due for more change? So reversed, the meaning is confusion, blind, guided by the wind. In the current situation, looking forward, that may very well be the case. But the upright, which, as you know, the way that I read reversals for future presentation is as the potential for that meaning to flip. So unexpected situations, long-lasting peculiar effects, unimaginable happenings, being guided by the stars. So we're kind of transmuting then in the future. There's the potential to transmute this Death card energy into a beautiful renewal of some kind with that mushroom. Here in the hopes and fears, we have the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. This is water of earth energy. And you notice the little bunny rabbit down here. It's about the fertile proliferation of resources. And where you see this card, Sagittarius, reversed in the hopes and fears, you are afraid at this time that this potency is not going to translate into this fertility, right? If you've heard me talk about these energies before, the Queen of Pentacles, remember, I kind of align to that passive energy of the Empress card as well in the major arcana. And it's like when you water the fields, things are allowed to grow. And perhaps what you are planting is a sapling to grow into a large tree, to bring in abundance for you. And that Queen of Pentacles, that's just your hopes and fears. That's a projection that you're putting on this situation. And if you get distracted while you are in the middle of your potency, it's going to make your wand more vulnerable to breakage. So do not worry as much about what is ahead, because the potential is there for more growth, and it's going to be the kind of growth that you are not anticipating. So don't freak out about it. You're in the midheaven. A result of this perhaps being a little too stuck in certain mindsets about finance, we have the light. And the light, number 16, hidden truths. So Sometimes the light can be so bright that it blinds us and it makes it difficult to see. Do not be blinded. Do not allow yourself, go buy yourself some sunglasses, so to speak. Especially because where you are right now, it's not that it's super shaky ground, it's just that you need to also let go of a lot of antiquated notions that you have about your sources of abundance. And that's where the hidden truths come in. The source is depicted here on this card and shining down every wavelength. I've been having a lot of debates with people about whether color does or does not exist. And the consensus so far is that the wavelengths are very real. But wavelength can be sound. Wavelength can be perceived visually, but that doesn't mean that colors actually exist. And actually across cultures, sometimes perceptions of colors can be different. So keep that in mind, that your cultural perceptions of certain things too might be holding you back. I love you too, Dawn. So here in the final outcome, this, oh good, that is my intention. This is the 9 of Wands and it's reversed. This is your advice. It's about letting your guard down. And that is especially pertinent where we have the 3 of Pentacles here in the reverse. Such that if you have your guard up too much, Sagittarius, you will not be open to working with others in ways that will help you to move forward. And perhaps people see you being a little closed off in your mindsets about these things. So, don't hesitate to take it up with Source, whatever your source may be. Thank you so much for your love and support. Let's spread it all around. Spread it all around. I am going to give you a homework assignment this week, which is anytime you are having a negative thought, see if you can find a positive in it. You don't have to. Some situations really, really suck. But when I spoke to my mother on the phone yesterday, I found that she had a lot of very King of Pentacles in the reverse kind of ideas going on. And she is in fact a Sagittarius sun sign. My poor Capricorn Aquarius cusp father grew up with lived with 3 fire sign women. My sister is an Aries. I am a Leo, and my mother is a Sagittarius sun sign. So that's a little bit about my family history. I hope that all of you have a wonderful